Good afternoon, students. So today we decided to start with the questions of NCERT of chapter number 4, correct? So before doing that, let me address one problem, okay? Yesterday I gave you a few questions in which one figure was missing. Yes? So just take down that figure. So I guess this is the question number 3 over here, right? So question number 3, the figure was missing. You can take that figure, you can take the screenshot, you can just note down the figure. Okay, have you done this? So you just solve these questions and you post it on Learnity. Okay, you solve all these questions and you post on Learnity today. So let me do one thing. We'll start with this discussion of these questions only, and then we will move on to the next topic. Okay, I'll discuss these questions, how to solve them. Okay, still I don't have the answer with me. Okay, so I'll just tell you how to solve these questions, and then we'll get back to the NCERT problems. So just see, the question number 1 says magnetic field at the center of the coil is in the form of square, okay, of side 2 centimeter, carrying a current 1.414 ampere. Is this value of X is, okay? So you have magnetic field at the center of the coil, okay? So at the what do you say? The answer is B. Okay, 4. Fine. You have to calculate the magnitude of the magnetic field at the center. Okay, when the current flowing through the wire is 1.414. Okay. So you can solve that because that's a very easy question. Fine. You can solve this question. Question number 2. An equilateral triangle is there. An equilateral triangular loop of wire of side 2L exists. Okay, carries a current I. The magnetic field at the center of the loop. Okay, that is also a very easy question. This means you are given with the triangle. You are given with the triangle. Okay, you are given with the triangle like this. And equilateral triangle is this, and the side is 2L, the current is given to me, and the magnetic field is asked. So you're supposed to add due to all the three. Okay, you are supposed to add due to all the 3 wires, and then you will get the answer for this. Fine. Question number 3 is also a very easy question. Question number 3 is also a very easy question. Due to this part of the wire, if you can see, due to this part of the wire and due to this part of the wire, okay, the magnetic field due to this part of the wire and due to this part of the wire, the magnetic field will be 0. Why? Because the point, this point lies, this is the point over here, this is a point over here, this point lies in along that line, along these wires only, that point is lying. So that's why The magnetic field will be 0. Now you will be having only magnetic field. You will be having magnetic field due to this wire carrying a current in positive x-axis, and due to this wire which is carrying a current in negative x-axis. Now, if you calculate the direction at this point, direction of magnetic field, so due to this wire it will be downward, and due to this wire also this will be downward. Okay, due to this wire also it will be downward, and due to this wire also it will be downward. So that's the thing. Is it okay? And this distance you can assume as L. The distance you can assume as L. Okay, and then you can solve. Then two wires at the position A and B carrying a current I in opposite direction. Okay, opposite direction means, so this is the position of first wire. This is the position of the first wire. This one, this cross is the position of first wire. This dot is the position of the second wire. So these are the two wires. Okay, in opposite direction. Opposite direction means this wire takes a current inside the plane. This wire takes the current outside to the plane. Calculating magnetic field at point P. Calculating magnetic field at point P. Calculate the magnetic field at point P, which is 3 meters away from the line of two wires. So the line joining the two wires is this, and this is 3 meters away from that line. Here you have a point P, here you have to calculate. Now, I have got so many messages asking how to solve this question. So let me remind you that this question I have already discussed in the class. Do you understand? This question we have already discussed in the class. It's not a new question that I have given you. Okay. This is a subjective problem. Okay. So you just solve it. I will just give you the hint over here how to solve this. So suppose this is a wire which is going inside the plane. Okay. Now you are supposed to calculate this distance. You are supposed to calculate this distance. So if this is 4, this is 3, what will be this distance? 5. This distance, this hypotenuse will be 5. Similarly, this hypotenuse will also be 5. So this is also 5. This is also 5. Okay. Both the hypotenuse are having 5. Now, since this is an infinite wire, okay, so the formula that we would be using, okay, the formula that you would be using will be mu naught 2I divided by 4 pi r, where r is the distance between them. Okay, where r is the distance between the perpendicular distance. Fine. So that is what you will, how you will do. This question is not a new question. This question I have discussed in the class, right? Now, fifth question. A long current carrying wire carrying a current I is at 45 degree from positive x-axis, whose one end is at origin. So do you remember that one question we discussed like this? Okay, where this was 37 degree. Okay, and at this point P, I wanted to calculate the magnetic field, where I told you to draw the perpendicular by extending it. Do you remember that question? So it is the same question. It is that same question. Okay, this is the same question here. So you have to solve this. Okay, so I have not solved the questions right now, so I don't have the answers with me. Okay, so after I finish this class, okay, with today's homework, okay, you will be having, I gave only up to 5 questions, I guess. I gave only 5 questions, correct? I gave only 5 questions, no? Okay, so today I'll be giving you, how many questions are there? 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, 25 questions are there. So I will give you up to 20. Okay, I will give you up to 15. Okay, 10 questions I'll give you. Up to this question I will give you 10 questions today. I'll give you, and answers for 1 to 5 will be also there. Okay, solution for yesterday's homework will be clubbed with the questions of today's. Okay. So 1 to 5 solutions will be clubbed with the today's homework. Is it okay? Fine. So this is the figure what I had missed yesterday. I was not there in the question. Now coming back to the questions of chapter. Did anyone solve the questions? Did anyone solve the questions? Yes, did anyone solve the question? Okay. Where is it? Yeah. Total 28 questions are there. Okay. Okay, you solved up to 11th question. Good. So just see this first question. So the first question says a circular coil of wire consisting of 100 turns, each of radius 8 centimeter, carries a current of 0.4 ampere. What is the magnitude of magnetic field B at the center of the coil? So this is a direct formula based question. This is a direct formula based question. How do you give the magnetic field due to a circular coil? Magnetic field due to a circular coil at the center. Yes. B is equals to, what you will write? Mu naught into, what you will write? Yes? Anyone? Mu naught I by 2R. This is what we have. Okay. Now the value of mu naught upon 4 pi we know. We know the value of mu naught upon 4 pi. Okay. So what you will do, we'll just multiply by 2 pi up and down. We'll just multiply by 2 pi up and down. So this becomes mu naught 2 pi divided by 2 into pi becomes 4 pi into r into I. So this complete thing becomes what? 4 pi into 10 power minus 7. This complete thing becomes 4 into 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 into 2 pi value. Okay. What is r value? R is the radius. Radius is this. So this becomes 0.08 into I. I value is 0.4. 0.4 into n. N value is 100. So you solve this equation, this, and you will get the value. Okay, you solve this, you will get the value. Is it okay? Anybody had doubt in this? Okay. So I hope you would have not understood. So you would have copied this now. Why are we multiplying by 2 pi? We are multiplying by 2 pi because we don't know the individually the value of mu naught. Okay. The value of only mu naught I don't know. So that's why I'm trying to convert that into 4 pi. Okay, mu naught upon 4 pi. Value of, see, what you are having in formula, mu naught I upon 2 pi 2r. Okay, not this is what you have in formula. Now you need the value of mu naught, no? So the value of mu naught is not known to us right now. Okay, till now in this chapter we have not studied about the value of the permeability. We have not studied the value of permeability till now. Okay, so just multiply 2 pi up and down, you will get mu naught upon 4 pi and you will get the value as 4 pi into 10 power minus 7. Okay, or if you don't want to do that, you can do like this, that we know that mu naught upon 4 pi is having a certain value. So mu naught becomes what? 4 pi into that value. So that's the value of mu naught. Okay, so anyway, you will be writing that. Anyway, you will be writing that. Okay. Okay, so read the question number 2. Question number 2. Yeah. So question number 2. Just read the question number 2 now. A long straight wire carries a current 35 ampere. What is the magnitude of the field at the point 20 centimeter from the wire? So we have a long straight wire which carries a current of 35 ampere. What is the magnitude of the field at a point 20 centimeter from the wire? So this is again a standard result because we have a long straight wire. Okay, we have a long straight wire. So a long straight wire means what? A long straight wire means what? That it is an infinite wire case. That it's an infinite wire case. Okay, so for an infinite wire case, what do we have? The result magnetic field would be given as mu naught into I divided by 4 pi r within bracket sine of phi 1 plus sine of phi 2. This is what we have. Correct? Now, because we have an infinite long wire, so phi 1 and phi 2, they both tend to 90. And hence sine phi 1 plus sine phi 2 gives us 1 and 1. So the value, the magnetic field at any place R is written as 2I now. Okay, because sine phi 1 and sine phi 2 will give me 1 and 1. This becomes the 4 pi R. Correct? Now you can solve this question. I hope you can solve this now. Okay. So value of this mu naught upon 4 pi is 10 to the power minus 7. Okay, mu naught by 4 pi is the that value. So you will be having 10 to the power minus 7. Okay, into 2i. 2 is the factor which is coming from sine phi 1 and sine phi 2. Okay, this is the factor which is coming from sine phi 1 and sine phi 2. The current value is given to me as 35 divided by r. What is the distance? 20 centimeters. So I'll write it as 0.2. So you solve this and you will get the result. 10 to the power minus 7 into 2 into 35 divided by 0.2. So this becomes 10. So this will be now 35 into 10 to the power minus 6. Okay. Tesla. So this is the result. Question number 2, this is the result. Question number 3 now. In between, if you have any doubt, okay, in between, if you have any doubt, you can ask also. Question number 3 now. A horizontal over, oh, sorry, a long straight wire in a horizontal plane carries a current of 50 ampere in north to south direction. So we have north to south direction, the current moving, okay, in a wire. So first let us draw that, okay, directions. So first let us draw the direction. So this is north, this is south, this is east, and this would be west. So now it says that a long straight wire in a horizontal plane carries a current of 50 ampere in north to south direction. This means the wire moves like this. The wire is moving like this. From north to south direction, it is moving like this. Okay. And having a current 50 ampere. Okay. Give the magnitude of direction of B at a point 2.5 meter east of the wire. So 2.5 meter east of the wire here. The distance is 2.5 meter. So I don't think so I need to solve this question. I don't think so I have to solve this question. Okay. I can solve it simply like the problem number 2 we had done. You will get 10 to the power minus 7 into 2 into current value 50 divided by the distance, which is 2.5. This would be your result. This would be your result. Is it okay? You just solve this, you will get the value. You just solve this and you will get the value. So just see here, you solve this, you will get here 20. Then 10 to the power minus 6 into 4. 10 to the power minus 6 into 4. Fine. Give the magnitude and the direction. And the direction also we have to take. Direction also we have to take. Okay. So just hold the wire. Just hold the wire in your hand. Just hold the wire in the hand. Okay. See, I'm not using the same formula. Who is this? What's the name? See, is it the same formula as the last one? Don't use formula. I have not used the formula. I'm not substituting the values in formula, dear. See, for me, I have solved so many questions by now that everything I know that this is the thing what I have to use. You don't sit and learn the formula, dear. Okay. You first try to identify the case. So which case it is? It is a case of long infinite wire case. You write the formula. Do you remember what I did for the problem number 2 to show you? I did not write it directly. I did not write the formula directly like this. Did I write the formula directly like this? No. Instead of 2, I wrote this as mu naught I by 4 pi r into sine of phi 1 plus sine of phi 2. Okay. Then I substituted phi 1 value, phi 2 values because this is an infinite case. And then I wrote the formula. So don't think that it is a formula based questions. Yes, they are formula based questions, but you don't have to simply substitute in the formula. That is what my point is. If you are doing that, it will be really, really very tough subject for you. Okay. So 4 into 10 to the power minus 6 Tesla is the value for this. Question number 3. And the direction they have asked us, the direction of B at a point 2.5 meter east of the wire. So direction we have to do. So now just what you have to do is use your right hand thumb rule. Okay. Right hand thumb rule You just point your finger, you just hold this wire which is coming from north to south. Okay, just hold that thing over here there. Now, such that the thumb, such that your thumb should point in this direction, such that your thumb should point in this direction. Okay, in the direction from south, north to south, such that your thumb should point in the direction from north to south. Now you see how your fingers are encircled. Now see how your fingers are encircled. Now see how your fingers are encircled. If you are able to see that, then try to find what is the direction of the magnetic field at this point. Okay, so it will be upward. It will be upward. So using right hand thumb rule. Right hand thumb rule. Okay, this is one thing using which you can calculate the direction. The second thing what you can use is right hand palm rule also you can do. Right hand palm rule, which is relatively easier over here. Okay, which is relatively easier over here. How you will do that? How you are going to do that? Just see, you will be having, you have to align your finger in the direction of, you have to align your fingers in the direction of magnetic field. Okay, sorry, not magnetic field, in the direction of the point, like this. All of you just see this. Okay, you have to align it like this. This is your palm. So how I have aligned? The thumb should be in the direction of, the thumb should be in the direction of wire, current carrying wire. The thumb should be in the direction of current carrying wire, and your fingers should be pointing towards that point. Your fingers must be pointing towards that point. And now you have to draw the perpendicular at the palm. Now you draw perpendicular to the palm. When you draw perpendicular to the palm, what is the direction which you are getting? What is the direction that you are getting? Are you getting vertically upward direction? Yes. Align your thumb in the direction of current and four fingers in the direction of point, towards the point. Now draw perpendicular to the palm. Now draw perpendicular to the palm. Okay, I have shown the figure how you have to do that. Now just draw the perpendicular onto your palm. Are you getting the perpendicular pointing towards the ceiling? Yes. I have got only one person answering to that. You have to point your fingers towards the direction of the point, towards the point, and your fingers towards the direction of current. I have drawn that. Thumb should be pointing. Thumb should be pointing towards the direction of the current, and your four fingers must be pointing towards the point. Okay. Then the perpendicular drawn to your palm will give you the direction of magnetic field. This is how you will do that. Okay. Out of the page, correct. Out of the page, that is only correct. Okay. So I hope you have understood how to calculate the direction either by using right hand thumb rule or either by using right hand palm rule. Okay. So if it is asked in the region, so let us be very clear that right hand thumb rule we are going to use. Okay. If we are supposed to calculate within the region, that is it clockwise or is it anti-clockwise? So right hand thumb rule is useful over there. If for a particular point you are supposed to calculate due to a current carrying wire, so right hand palm rule is useful. Okay. And what you have to do here, you have to align your thumb in the direction of current, four fingers in the direction of point, but draw perpendicular to the palm. That is the direction of magnetic field. Okay. So this was about the question number 3. Now, what is question number 4? A horizontal overhead power line carries a current 90 ampere in east to west direction. Okay, so I guess this is also the same thing. Now the wire is from east to west, so it is in this direction. Okay, what is the magnitude and direction of magnetic field at the due to a current 1.5 meter below it? Okay, so this is also the correct same thing. Okay, this is also the same thing, same as question number 2 and 3, same as question number 2 and 3. I hope you can solve this question. This is similar to that, so I'm leaving this question here. Question number 4, I'm leaving it. Okay, up to you to solve. Question number 5. Question number 5. Okay, whatever answer may be. Question number 5. What is the magnitude of magnetic force per unit length on a wire carrying a current 8 ampere and making an angle 30 degree with the direction of uniform magnetic field of 0.15 Tesla? Okay. What is the magnitude of magnetic force per unit length of on a wire carrying a current of 8 ampere and making an angle of 30 degree with the direction of a uniform magnetic field? Okay. I cannot do all the questions here. Question number 4 is same as question number 3 and 2. So now you should try at least one question. All the question I will not do for you. Okay. So at least one question I'm leaving which is similar to question number 2 and 3. That also if you are not able to do, then what you are going to do? Question number 5 we were doing. Yeah. So we have to calculate over here magnetic force per unit length. Magnetic force per unit length. Now, here we have current, we have angle, and we have magnetic field value. Now we know that the magnetic force, if I have to calculate, so force value is given as B, sorry, not B, it is I vector L cross B. This is what do we know, correct? We all know this thing. So here over this question number 5 says the angle is 30 degree. So if I simplify this now, so can I write it like BIL, so ILB, and this becomes the sine of 30 degree. Now they ask me force per unit length. Now most of you would be thinking that how do I calculate force per unit length? How do we calculate force per unit length here? So force is given per unit length means divided by length. So divide this equation by length. So what do you get? Force divided by length is equals to I B sine of 30 degree. Understood? So this L gets cancelled. When you divide this equation by L, so this L gets cancelled. So this complete thing is given to me. Let me check. I is given to me. Yes, 8 ampere. Value of B is given to me. 0.15. 30 degrees given to me. Can you put the values and calculate F by L value? Can you put the value of IB and angle 30 and get the value of F by L in question number 5? Okay. I'm leaving that question then. I'm leaving that question. Okay. So I hope you people are getting 0.6. Okay, 0.6. So 8 into 15 and 1 by 2. Okay, correct. So question number 6 we are going to do now. Question number 6 we are going to do now. 0.6 most of you have got. Okay, correct. So question number 6 now. A 3 centimeter wire carrying a current 10 ampere is placed inside a solenoid. Okay, so inside a solenoid we have a wire of 3 centimeter which carries a current 10 ampere. Perpendicular to the axis, the magnetic field inside the solenoid is given to be this 0.27 Tesla. What is the magnetic force on the wire? What is the magnetic force on the wire? So here we have to calculate the magnetic force now. So there is a solenoid first of all. So let us make the figure and try to visualize the condition. So we have a solenoid like this. And in this we have a wire which measures 3 centimeter in length. Which measures 3 centimeter in length like this. Now the magnetic field in this is how do you have a magnetic field in this direction? This is L vector, this is L vector, this is B vector, L vector, B vector. What is the angle between them? 90. So if angle is 90 degrees, so the force will be written as, because I have to calculate the magnetic force on the wire. So force I can write as BIL sine of 90 degree. Okay, so sine 90 is 1. B value is given to me as 0.27, I guess. Current value is 10 and length is 3 centimeters, so 0.03. You can solve this equation and get the value. You can solve this and get the value, I guess. Okay, so 0.27 into 0.3. So this will give me 0.0081 into 10. So 0.081. Okay. This value and this value, if I multiply, I will be getting 0.0081 into 10 means 0.081. So this is the answer, 0.081. Okay. So many people have got that. Good. No, Vimal, it's not 8.1, dear. It should be 0.081. It should be 0.081, not 8.1. Nowhere you will get 8.1. Okay. Don't do such silly mistakes. In exam, don't do such silly mistakes. Okay. You will do everything, but only multiplication and division you will do wrong and you will lose your marks. Instead of getting +4, you will get -5. Sorry, -1. Understood? Instead of getting +4, you would be getting -1, and then the difference would be, for the known quotient would be -5. So that will be a very bad for you. Okay, so try to avoid silly mistakes. It would take 15 seconds or 10 seconds extra if you do it patiently. Okay, so don't hurry it up. Okay, then question number 7 we will see. Two long and parallel straight wires A and B carrying current of 8 ampere and 5 ampere in the same direction are separated by a distance 4 centimeter. Okay, estimate the force on a 10 centimeter section of wire A. So can you visualize which case it is? Can you tell me which section or which part of the theory is related with this question number 6? Which part of the theory that we have studied is related with the question number 7? Can anyone tell me? Question number 7, which part is related? Force between two parallel wires. Okay, good. Force between two parallel wires. Good, good. See, let me tell you one thing, that if you are able to identify that this question is related from this chapter and it is related from this concept in this chapter in the final exam, okay, that is also a very good thing, because for so many questions you'll not be able to, if you have not prepared, I'm telling, if you're not prepared, you'll not be able to understand whether the question is from magnetism, whether the question is from EMI, or whether the question is from AC. Understood? So you have to be thinking that which chapter this question is from, which concept involves this, and if the concept is known, which case it is. So we know that this two parallel current carrying wire involves, we have studied, if you remember, two parallel wires we had taken. We had drawn a beautiful figure like this. Okay. At so many points, we saw the direction of magnetic field due to these two wires. One wire I had taken in black color, one wire I remember I have taken in blue, black, this red color. Okay. So that concept it involves. Fine. So if you see this question now, so I can use the direct relation, but you don't use direct, you can also use the direct relation because there is no point of deriving over here. So force either on 1 due to 2 I write, or force on 2 due to 1 I write. Okay. Any force if I write, force on 1 due to 2 or force on 2 due to 1, the value will be what? What will be the value? Yes. It should be I1 into I2. Okay. I1 into I2 into length of the wire. Okay. Into mu naught into 2, because it's an infinite wire, and then we will write 4 pi r. Yes, 4 pi r. So this is B I L, B I and L. Correct. Understood? How did I write this equation? If you want to remember how to write it, so just see, for this one I am writing, okay, for this one I am writing, so you should be writing the current in 1, okay, length of wire, and magnetic field created due to 2. Magnetic field created due to 2. Now I1 is there, L is there. Now magnetic field due to second wire you have to write. So how will you write that? Mu naught into 2I2. 2I2 represents what? Infinite wire case, divided by 4 pi into R. This is how you have to write, or you have to remember. Okay. So what is I1 and I2 values? 8 and 5. So 8 and 5 we can substitute. 8 into 5, which is 40, into mu naught into 2 divided by 4 pi into, what is the distance between them? What is the distance between them? 4 centimeter. So 0.04. Now L value we have to calculate for the length of 10 centimeter. Length of 10 centimeter means multiply it by 10. Multiply this equation by 10. Now, if they would have asked me here to calculate force per unit length, okay, if they would have asked me to calculate the force per unit length, what you would have calculated? If they would have asked me that, the question would have been, suppose instead of estimate the force on 10 centimeter of wire, if they would have asked me what's the force per unit length, so what I should have calculated? F12 divided by L, or I would have calculated F21 divided by L, and the result would be mu naught 2 I1 I2 divided by 4 pi R. L would not be there. L would be here, okay, in denominator in the left hand side. That would be the this answer then, okay. if I would be asked to calculate the force per unit length. Now, because the section is given that for 10 centimeter, it is asked. If you calculate this, okay, and then I ask you, what is the length for 25 centimeter of the wire? What is the force on 25 centimeter length of the wire? So you just multiply force per unit length with 25, you'll get the answer. Okay, so that's how it is done. That's how it is done. I think I'm clear with this now. Anybody is having any doubt in this? Okay, the answer is 2 into 10 to the power minus 5. I don't know. Okay, I have to solve this actually, dear. So this would be 10 to the power minus 7. Okay, this would be 10 to the power minus 7. This is 40, this is 0.04, so this would be 1000. 4 and 4, so 4 into 1, 5. Correct. 2 into 10 power minus 4, correct. 2 into 10 power minus 5 is correct, Vimal. Okay, you'll not get 40 to the power 2 into 10 power minus 5 is correct, because this mu naught upon 4 pi will give me 10 power minus 6. Okay, and this is 8 into 5 and this is 4. Okay, so when you cancel this, so I have to multiply here by 100, and then this will become 4, and then this will become 1000, 10 to the power minus 6, so 4, correct. Okay, so question number 8 we have to solve now. Length is 10 centimeter. Yes, length is 10 centimeter. So for that you have to use 0.1. Length is, no, I tried to calculate for that. I tried to calculate for, okay, 10 centimeter, wait. Okay, 0.1 centimeter. 0.1 centimeter you have to use here. 0.1 centimeter you have to use here. Okay, 0.1 meter. 0.1 meter will be 0.1 meter. 10 centimeter means 0.1 meter. Okay. Question number 8. A closely wound solenoid 80 centimeter long. It is 80 centimeter long. So L is known to me. Has 5 layers of windings of 400 turns each. So 80 centimeter long, 5 layers, each having 400 turns. So 5 layers, each having 400 turns means total turn how much? 2000 turns. Total how many turns? 2000 turns. Okay. So capital N value, if you can remember the result that we had derived for magnetic field at the center of the solenoid as mu naught N into I, where N is what? Number of turns per unit length. Okay. So N by capital N by length. N is total number of turns. So mu naught value is what? 4 pi into 10 power minus 7. Mu naught value is 4 pi into 10 power minus 7. 4 pi into 10 to power minus 7 into N. N value is 2000 given to us now, divided by length. Length is 80 centimeters, so 0.8. And what is the current value given to us? 8. Just solve this now. Okay. Just solve this, you'll get the result. So this N is what? This N is number of turns per unit length. This small n is number of turns per unit length. What is capital N? Capital N is total number of turns. Total number of turns. Okay. So total number of turns is given to me, not turns per unit length is given. Fine. Is it okay? Is there any doubt in this question number 8? Is there any doubt in question number 8? Okay. A square coil of side 10 centimeter consists of 20 turns and carries a current 12 ampere. So we have a square coil of side 10 centimeter consists of 20 turns and carries a current 12 ampere. Fine. The coil is suspended vertically and normal to the plane of coil. Okay. And normal to the plane of 30° with the direction of uniform horizontal magnetic field is magnitude is given to me. Okay. Understood. So the angle between the area vector and the magnetic field is 30°. The angle between the area vector or the magnetic moment and magnetic field is 30 degrees given to that. It is like that. Okay, it is given like that. So just let us see question number 9 now. They're asking what is the magnitude of the torque. So we know that what is the value of torque? Torque is written as tau is equals to M cross B. M cross B. What is M here? What is M here? M is magnetic moment. So NIA into B into sine of theta. Correct. Okay. N value is given to me 20. I value is 12. Area, how will you calculate? 0.1 into 0.1. So 0.01. Magnetic field value 0.8. Theta value 30. Will you be able to solve it now? Will you be able to solve it now? Will you be able to solve it now? Yes, Nagaraj, what happened? $12. Answer is 12. MIA3MI. How you have named yourself? What is your name? In next class, you should rename yourself. MIA3MI. Okay, whoever it is. You should rename yourself. What's your name, by the way? I'm leaving this problem. Okay, I'm leaving this problem. You can solve it now. This is very easy. Everything is given to me. N value is given, I value is given, A value is given, B value is given, and theta is given. Okay. Fine. Now question number 10 now. Value of A. Value of A will be dear area of the coil. Na? A is area over here. A is area over here. Okay. Area. And how would you find out area if the side is given of a square? You have a square. Okay. You have a square. And the side is 10 centimeter and 10 centimeter. Okay. If you want me to do it. So N value is 20, I value is 12, A value will be 0.1 whole square into B value is 0.8. Sine 30 means how much? 1 by 2. Sine 30 is 1 by 2. So this complete divided by 2. So 20 into 12, this gives me 240. Okay. 240 divided by 2 becomes 120. 120 into 0.8 into 0.001. Okay. Now you just solve this. So 12 into 8 is 96. So this will become Yes, 96, because this is 120, so this will become 96. Okay, and then we have this value. Okay, then we have 0.01. Sorry, this should be 0.1 square. So 10 only should come, not 20 should come. Okay, so into 0.01. So this will become now 0.96 Newton meter. Okay, Newton meter, not Newton. Balaji, what is this Newton? Newton meter. Unit of torque is Newton meter. Okay. Not Newton. Two moving coil. Okay. Two moving coil meters M1 and M2 have following particulars. Means these are the initials given to this. Okay. So R1 value is given to me. Yes, 0.96. 0.96. R1 value is given to me. N1 value is given to me. The number of turns in the first coil. The area of that coil is given to me, and the magnetic field created by that is given to me. Okay. So you have to calculate the current sensitivity and voltage sensitivity. So did I tell you about the voltage sensitivity? I have deliberately not told voltage sensitivity. Why? Because I wanted you to do that, work out that voltage sensitivity. So current sensitivity I have told you, voltage sensitivity I didn't tell you. Why? Because if you can calculate current sensitivity, you should be able to calculate the voltage sensitivity. So just see here, restoring torque would be equal to the torque due to current in moving coil galvanometer. Restoring torque would be equal to torque due to current. Now the restoring torque is C theta and torque due to current is NIAB. Okay. Now from this, if I write theta as NAB by C into I. Okay. Now theta was S into I. S I called as sensitivity. S I had called as sensitivity. So sensitivity is theta by I. So this is current sensitivity. This is only current sensitivity. Okay, this is only current sensitivity. Now, if I multiply this current by resistance, what will I get? Voltage. So S by R, I am dividing this equation by R. So theta by I into R. So what is this becoming now? I by I into R, what do I get? I into R, what do I get? Voltage. So this is now voltage sensitivity. So current sensitivity is NIAB. Sorry, not I over here. NAB divided by C, okay, into 1 by R. This is voltage sensitivity. Okay, so you had nothing to do. You should have only multiplied, or you should have just divided current sensitivity by R. You should have just divided current sensitivity by R. You would get voltage sensitivity. Okay. So I hope question number 10 also you can do. Okay. So now only 4 questions. See here, one more thing, that though we have till question number 28. Okay. So I don't think so you should be solving beyond question number 13, because additional exercise is a higher level problems for JEE students. Okay. So if you can solve up to question number 13 also, that would be more than enough. If you can solve up to question number 13 also, that would be more than enough. Okay. So tomorrow we will discuss remaining 3 questions, 10, 11, 12 and 13, and then we will discuss the few more questions. And if you have any doubt, you come up with your doubts tomorrow. Okay. So I'll finish 4 questions, then I'll take your doubts, and then we will go on to the questions more. Okay. Okay. So with this, I'll end this session. Thank you.